It's really where we talk about things that we're just trying to figure out. What's up, y'all? It's your girl, Kim Ray. I'm back with another episode of this podcast, hashtag JTFIO, or just trying to figure it out. Let me adjust my levels because I can't hear myself. Right? But how y'all doing? Y'all okay? Sometimes you just got to check on your people. Okay, I'm back with another episode, and y'all know we missed last week, so I do want to apologize. But we missed last week because I was enslaved by my scalp. We're going to get into that conversation in just a minute. Let me make sure I'm heard here. All right, yeah, we are good to go. Okay, y'all. So yes, I was enslaved by my scalp 12 hours, and if you follow me on anything at any point, you know that my hair, it's been a learning in progress, right? Black hair is a thing. It's a subject. And, you know, I'm thankful that I can do my own hair, but I think I'm making it to that place where I just don't want to no more. My hands was hurting. I was tired. And I've made a vow to be committed to this schedule of posting my podcast and communicating when I don't. And I did not. I just let the week go on and pass. Okay. And life got the best of me. The things were happening on the job, okay, and around me. So yeah, I'm happy to be back this week, ready to engage in another great conversation where we just try to figure it out here. This is a podcast, and you can find the video version on YouTube, or you can find it on Spotify, because that's a new thing. We post the video version of that on Spotify as well. And then you can comment on Spotify too. Now, I don't know where else you guys listen to podcasts, but you are able to look it up. Okay. And then I post little clips throughout the week on TikTok on JTFIO podcast. You can find me on TikTok at that handle. And, you know, we get into some conversation over there too, because I do understand the current pulse of, you know, video form, short form content. That's a thing that the people love. All right. So we're going to get into some topics today. We're going to talk about some things, you know, some notes that I took throughout the week. And then I want to know your opinion. Okay. So I haven't figured out a name for this segment, but something that we're just trying to figure out this week is how to separate the art from the artist. Do we do that? Do y'all consistently do that? Is it hard for y'all? When do you know to do it? When is it hard to do it? And then you just kind of accepted, yeah, I ain't doing it. Right. And I think it's easy to get into this conversation because we have a lot of different artists to choose from and companies, right? Because right now as a Black community, we are doing it with certain companies. We've taken on this fight of showing Target, hey, you dismiss DEI, and that's diversity, equity, inclusion. We fall under that umbrella, yes, but DEI doesn't just mean Black. DEI means if you're handicapped. DEI means, you know, the disabled. DEI means if you are a woman. DEI means if you're Asian American, if you're Hispanic American, if you're Middle Eastern, if you're DEI is anything that makes something diverse, anything that is not the cishet white male. Okay. And then inclusion, it's the same thing, being inclusive of all audiences, of all people, of all customers. So when you make a stand as a company and you say that, well, now we got to make a stand as a people. Okay. But I know that it's been hard because there's been some times where I'm like, this is only available at Target. Where am I supposed to get it? And if not Target, then Amazon. Okay. If not Amazon, then where? But you have to do your due diligence and look up the things and understand that we are making a stand. And if our ancestors never made a stand, then we wouldn't be where we are now. So although it was hard for them to walk all these miles instead of taking the bus boycott was effective because the buses were ran and operated, I don't know about operated, but funded by Black people. Working Black people who took the bus. So when you make a stand like that and you hit them in their pockets, it's effective. Okay. It's another subject for another day, but it kind of leads into what we're talking about today, right? So a couple weeks ago, my girlfriend, she's like, hey, I want to go see Toby. A couple months ago, actually. She said, I want to go see Toby. You know, I really enjoy him. And, you know, I had seen him, the Mint Green. It's hard to miss him. I live in Houston. And so I was like, yeah, okay. Like, it's an artist that you enjoy. Like, let's go. Let's do it. And so to me, it was nothing for me to be like, let's go. Okay. Of course, when you're really looking someone up and you're really trying to do something, the algorithm will show you things align with that artist. So I had kind of got into like these videos where I was seeing his relationship with his wife. And I was like, oh no, like I know I don't align with this. Now, in my 35 years, I've started to understand, hey, if you like it, I love it. That's something for you. You've decided. I'm not in your relationship. I'm not there when the door is closed, but I do know what I see on the stage here, and I don't like it, right? It was about the treatment. It was about how he was talking about her. It was about their origin story of how he kept saying, like, he ain't like her like that. He had to keep saying, I ain't like you like that. I ain't want you like that. And it just wasn't it did not make her look good to me. And, you know, sometimes people have these stories where they're kind of like, yeah, we weren't really looking at each other like that, but slowly, you know, our friendship built. But he was making a very intentional choice of framing this conversation around at least their origin story around, I ain't like her like that. She wasn't that great looking. I ain't want her. And of course, this clip is old, but I'm watching it and I send it over to my girlfriend like, did you know this? And of course, she's like, yeah, I knew. I saw it, but I do enjoy his music, you know, all the things. And so then, you know, my girlfriend's a great person. So I'm like, it's not like she would just like someone who's an abuser. I don't think that he's an abuser. But it did make me wonder, like, man, how many people do we enjoy that we don't really know? Like, and then my friend, she was like, well, I can't just cut everyone off who I don't like. And I was like, yeah, that's true, because then what art would we have left, right? But I do think that we have to make a stand in some places. So I wanted to start with Toby. I don't think that he's such a horrible person, or that his music's not enjoyable, or that he's not talented, or that or his wife is trapped, or I have no philosophy about them because I'm not a follower of them. I don't know them, people like that, right? But it is what sparked my interest in this topic. Chris Brown's going back on tour. Now, Chris Brown is one that I grew up with. Now, you know, I don't know the man, but I do call him Maurice often because, you know, back in the day when you used to get called by your middle name, that means you was doing stuff that you was not supposed to be doing. Like, you're basically in trouble when somebody says, Christopher Maurice Brown, you know, like, and I felt like Maurice had been a knucklehead for some time, you know, but ever since like the Michael Jackson tribute, it seemed like, you know, he was kind of trying to make a comeback. He's being definitely publicly punished for years because of the incident with Rihanna. And, you know, people started to be like, well, it wasn't like he just did this with Rihanna and abused her and was in the news and stuff and got the public scrutiny, and then he just went on the straight and narrow for years. No, he spiraled, and then he had the stuff with Karrueche, and then he had, you know, and then he had the dark skin, light skin comment in his music. We're not going to forget that. But it did start to make you feel like, okay, are you guys just tying everything he does to this narrative, right? We did start to feel that way because people learn and they grow and they change and they do the things. And you can't say that he's not talented. But also, if you thought about it in the aspect of if this was somebody down the street, or this is somebody you work with, this is somebody you went to school with, you probably wouldn't rock too much with his way of thinking. But are we supposed to as artists? Like, should we align with your way of thinking if we just want to enjoy your music? I'm just trying to figure that out. Because at the end of the day, yes, it is true. Chris Brown makes 40-track albums of a song that sounds like it's been playing the entire time, the same song. I get it. But he also has a sound. We get it. We understand it. We know it, right? But also, he's a part of our childhood, our upbringing, our coming of age. He's also very talented, right? But he's also, in his personal life, done these things that aren't the best depiction of women. And there are plenty of other artists out there who haven't done none of that we know of. Right? So it causes you to question, should I be a fan? Should I get all enveloped in these things surrounding this person? Do they stand for these things? Or are they a broken being who's done these things that I don't rock with, but I enjoy? Look at me now, I don't know. I don't know if it's okay. I don't know when it's okay. I know that I don't rock with it. Right? So I've made a vow to be like, for the most part, right? I haven't gone to a Chris Brown concert because I can't see myself paying that much for Chris Brown. Very talented. I enjoy his clips. I enjoy the things. I can't see it, right? It's the same with R. Kelly, okay? I am a survivor of certain things like that in that realm, okay? And because of that, I just can't bring myself, because I'm of a certain generation, and I've known men like that who prey on young girls, prey on young women, and I've seen it, and I've witnessed other women or young girls who've gone through that. I can't see myself supporting something like that. But also, the conversations are very different in how they relate to me. I'm not a victim of DA in a relationship, right? I'm a victim of this older men thing, right? So because of that, that's where I stand, right? And because his music, R. Kelly's music, was very much about a young girl. He very much married a young Aaliyah who was very impressionable and, married him because everyone around her made it seem like it was okay. This meant a lot for her career. They're writing music. They're doing all the things. So there's a philosophy there of his that I don't. But if we were to talk about him, the person, and how philosophy mixes with experiences, mixed with upbringing, mixed with enablism, mixed with power and money and all the things, I'm sure there's a conversation there where we could be empathetic and understand. I'm not with it. I don't want it. That's my stance, right? So we don't have to just try to figure that part out, because I figured that part out with that one, right? But also we could say, I don't know that man. It didn't happen to me. It wasn't like he didn't do that to me. It wasn't, we could have that conversation. But I can't separate that artist from his art, because that art is about young women. Bill Cosby. I grew up on the Huxtables. It was always weird to me. It's called The Cosby Show, but it's about the Huxtables. I know line for line. I know scene for scene. I know each child on the show. I know each, all the kids. I know all the Claire lines. I very much would watch that show even in my 20s. Bought it on Amazon Prime, right? And so people who knew me at the time that I was championing would be like, hey, how can you watch Bill Cosby, but you don't listen to R. Kelly? And I'd be like, well, let me be clear, okay? From what I know and what I've seen, right? This is acting. This is a show. We are acting here. We are not emoting things that we feel or we do. So y'all are talking about Bill Cosby, the person. I'm telling you, I enjoy the show with these actors and actresses, the premise of the show, the family feel of the show, the love of the show, something that they created that was scripted. Also, it's very nuanced, okay? Bill Cosby, I think it was date drugs, was giving Chris Brown, okay? In that way, okay? And I didn't mean to say the R word. I need to make sure I bleep that out. Although it's very wrong, disgusting, downright rude, downright out of line, and a criminal offense. I don't align with that. Okay. And because the imagery that you've put out there, now we can talk about a lot of other things, like his opinion on boys sagging and how it doesn't look good and how he would speak out as a public figure against the Black community, certain things that were done. We can have that conversation. We can talk about Felicia Rashad, Queen Mother, right? But she's also had opinions that I don't necessarily rock with. But the Cosby Show from Bill Cosby, I'm able to do. Okay, I don't have to figure that out. I figure that out, right? But I want to know your process and the things that you do when you're just trying to figure it out, because how do you separate the art from the artist? Does it mean you can do it when you see that they haven't put their self and their own opinions and their own philosophy into things like me? Or do you have to, or are you just like, I don't care about none of that. I don't care about none of that. I'm able to rock with it. Wasn't me. I wasn't around. Out of sight, out of mind. And we can't be like that. We can't be like that, because I think the conversation then becomes, you are furthering the popularity, the influence, the voice, the stage of a person who's a predator, who preys on people. You are adding to their power, their influence. And then when you do that, you end up in a country with someone leading it who's not qualified. That's how that happens. And although artists and music and movies are extra things, images have power, and they help raise the youth. It always goes back to the youth, because the youth are the leaders. So if we're pushing and funding something that doesn't align with our philosophies or the things that we want to be true in our country, you're giving it power to elevate and speak for what we all think and feel. And that's not right. It ain't right. It ain't right. Okay, so I want to know your thoughts on that. I do, because it's a big enough subject. And I think we do it with certain things like Amazon right now. I'm like, y'all cutting DEI, but it's about the convenience, because I have a thing about going in the store. They be shooting up stores. There'd be so many things happening. So I really am cognizant of like where I'm at and watching my surroundings and all the things, unfortunately, because that's another thing that's true in our country. So Amazon is convenient because I can subscribe and save and they can send me the things, but they don't rock with me. It's the same thing with, that's what they're publicly saying, right? But I also know they employ a lot of me, people who look like me, right? It's the same thing with Chick-fil-A. We all still gonna eat that chicken. But we know they not rocking with LGB. They close on Sunday because they praying for us, right? But at the same time, we've made innate decisions to rock with who we rock with in the capacity that we rock with them, because we can handle that, right? We can handle it to an extent. Y'all been shopping at Walmart for years. I can't do it. The main reason was because Walmart has this way of, when you walk up in Walmart, you spend so much money on accident. I don't know what that appeal is. Now, I don't go in Walmart, but I used to be like, I went there for 2 things. And I walked out with a cart full. I spent $150. How did I do that? And then, there was the classism, like Walmart got the rickety carts. We going over to Target. The carts are plastic, not metal. It's pleasant shopping. There's people that look like me in the ads. Let's do it. But it seemed like Walmart has gotten it together. And most times, Walmart just got what you need. Sometimes I'll brave it and I'll go in there. I set my timer. I'm like, I'm in and I'm out. They still don't have tap, but that's a different story. They want you to get that app, I guess. But yeah, Walmart was never rocking with us either. But we're not used to companies rocking with us out loud either. So I think when you make a stand as a company as loud as you did, as loud as you do, where you are blatantly denying a certain group of people, well, now we having a different conversation. Before, y'all didn't say it out loud. We didn't know that you felt that way. Now we know for sure what we gonna do with it. Right? So where y'all shopping at instead? Everybody's saying Costco, but I might not need 60 rolls of toilet paper. I might just need 6. So have y'all really Now, I know with the Black-owned products, we've been like, you know what? We're just going to get it from that artist. Got it. But for your odds and ends, your toilet paper, your drugstore makeup, where y'all going? I do want to know. I do want to know. Okay. I know it's hard. And like I said, I've been holding on. I've been doing the things. But I know even back then during the bus boycott, somebody was like 15 miles to work. Now, I will say it was different then. They didn't have social media to carry the videos and really push a message out there. Carry the message. So I get that part. But I do want to know. Okay. I did do a video about Keke Palmer. Make sure you guys go watch that. It's on my YouTube channel. We're talking about we're talking about how we got her to take that Jonathan Majors video down. Like, people are saying that bullying works. And I don't know that it was bullying. I just think that she heard the voice of the people and understood, like, and that's all we be wanting people to understand. Like, you're not going to get it right every time, but if you have an ear to hear and you make adjustments to what's going on, then you'll be all right. Right. I do want to know her opinion about it or what she thought, but she may not ever say anything because she may not be developed in that way yet to understand why it was wrong. Otherwise, she wouldn't have put it out. I don't know. Okay. All right. So another subject is I was watching Win or Lose. And it's a little series on Pixar on Disney Plus. And it's centered around the Pickles, which is not Dee Dee and Stu and Tommy and Dill. It is a softball team, co-ed softball team with all these different characters. And there's about 10 episodes. And I was like, baby, this needs to be a movie. It needs to be a movie. But it was so nice how they did it from each point of view, like lots of different point of views. It's one storyline, right? One plot. And they pick one character and they follow their perspective throughout that entire plot, right? And it all centers around this championship game that they're trying to make it to. But each person has a different experience, the different things that they battle and all these things. And they may have affected another character and that other character was not privy to their perspective. So it's really good. It's really clever. And also like the animation part, how they make certain things come alive. Like when, the boy Ewan was really into the black girl. I can't think of her name, but she was really cute. How he was into her and how they animated him on the inside and like what it was like to like be in love and like how on the outside he was saying one thing and being one way, but then on the inside his heart and his like little person was doing a lot of different things, and how his little person got with her little person. It was like their inner selves, not their representative, right? I thought that was really cute. And I thought it was cute how like Rochelle, was her name Rochelle? I know her mom called her Raspberry, but she's the oldest daughter of like a single mom. And so she doesn't want to bother her mom with all these things that cost money, all these things going on. So she is doing all this tutoring and papers on the side and working at the concession stand. And, she puts on her business, her blazer, basically, because she knows she got to go to work. She got to do the things, right? But also, from her eyes, she feel like her mama play around too much. She don't take life seriously. She's not a parent, so she has to be the parent. From her mom's eyes, her mom is the one who uplifts those around her, right? And even if she don't have enough for herself, she's uplifting. And I was boo-hoo crying on one of them episodes. I'm trying to remember which one it was. It was so beautiful. Right? There was like a black grandma on there and how the black grandma embraced her non-binary grandchild, and, the black dad who like pushes their child so hard in the sports because they wanted that for them also. But the black dad like acknowledged this non-gender conforming child and what they wanted for themselves. And I thought that was really important to see. It made me be like, you know what? I want a job working for Pixar. I minored in sociology and I could understand how people work in the mind and how society works. And I am a fan of society and culture. Get me a job, okay? It would be hard to leave the children as a dean, but I was like, not often do I want to like go and work for a place and be a part of what they make. And I was like, I want to work for Pixar. So I'm manifesting that. I'm putting that out in the atmosphere, honey, because I was like, how could you not want to be a part of this team that just gets it right? If y'all haven't seen that, y'all need to go check that out, because it was very intricate on the inner workings of a person. I'm telling you. And I think it really hit me because I chose this age group that I work with. And oftentimes people are like, whoa, that's the hardest age group. I don't know why you would choose them. They go through so many changes, and they do. They are the age group that I feel like you see a lot of your work quickly. You see, like, from 6th to 8th grade, like the growth, the progression, the things that they've gone through, the things that they've battled. And also, kids know who they are, like, a lot at that age, and they also don't know, and they can be influenced. But for the most part, you learn who you are, you experience things, and that's kind of like who you are from then on, right? You build on it. But that's kind of who you are at your core. We all are kind of like our 12-year-old selves. We all kind of are. So, if y'all get a chance, y'all need to check that out. What have I been listening to this week? I have been listening to Ken the Man. Okay. My girlfriend put me on. Ken the Man is the truth. Now I go to the gym and she be playing in my headphones. Y'all know I am a fan of that talk your stuff type of rap from a woman. I'm here for it, because for a long time, there was no space. They weren't giving no space to us. But baby, there's space now. Okay. So Ken the Man, I'm digging her. I like how she lays it all out there. It's just I ain't got the words yet, but I'm gonna get them. Y'all gonna be mad at me because I'll be saying all the words. Okay. Also, I feel like her name is DJ Ty. I want to look it up. Ty, I don't want to say the wrong name, but is it Ty Johnson? Let me see. What is her name? Ty Alexander. DJ Ty Alexander, okay? I've been playing a lot of like the DJ mixes on YouTube. I think I told y'all that before, but Ty Alexander, she has this mix on Classes in Session, 54 minutes, 16 seconds. Thank me later. Pull it up, play it. The way she mixed the things in, and she's very vibrant. She has these 2 ponytails that curl down in there. It's like salt and pepper, gray and black. And she's wearing the all black, and there's a lot of people dancing behind her, moving in and out. Y'all know that kind of format of a video, but it's just good. It's just good. Y'all got to tune in. It's just good. It's just good. It's good. Anyway, it's my subject for this week, and I'm sticking to it. I'm just trying to figure it out. How are y'all separating the art from the artist? Are you separating? What are you listening to? I want to know in the comments. What are your thoughts on Keke Palmer and Jonathan Majors and her dropping that video? Go comment on that video on my YouTube. It's a short episode this week. We want to keep it cute this week. Let me know your thoughts. Comment down below, or comment wherever you're watching or wherever you're listening. Subscribe. And you know what's funny? I just realized I end these videos the same way I end my announcements with these kids. That is hilarious. I'm Kim Ray. This is #JTFIO, or just trying to figure it out. I'll see you guys next week in the next episode. See ya.